It rained that night, the kind of rain that didn't just fall, it wept. Like the sky was mourning someone. Maybe it was mourning him, maybe I was too. After his last call, the whisper to run, I didn't wait. I escaped, left the mansion, the guards, the life I never chose. I didn't pack bags or take jewelry. I just ran, my wedding ring still on my finger, my breath trembling in my chest. 3 months passed. I found shelter in a sleepy town far from the city, somewhere no one would think to look. I went by Hana now, the girl with no past who worked at the edge of a quiet road in a tiny flower shop that smelled of lilies and damp earth. I told myself this was peace, but deep down I knew it was hiding. I tried to pretend I hadn't loved a man like him, that I hadn't fallen for a ghost made of ice and violence. But every night I remember the look in his eyes before the call ended, that one broken whisper that carried more than words. Run. Even in dreams, I felt him, his voice, his scent, his cold touch that somehow felt like fire. I would wake in sweat, heart racing, thinking I heard footsteps, his voice at the door, the quiet brush of his fingers against my waist, but it was only memory. I lived above the flower shop in a small room with thin walls. The owner, an elderly widow named Yoonji, never asked why I flinched at loud noises or locked my door twice. She just brewed tea and smiled like she'd seen girls like me before, girls with too many shadows. One evening, the sky darkened early. The rain came like a warning. Thunder growled over rooftops. I was closing the shop when I saw him across the street, standing like a statue under a flickering streetlight. It's him. My keys slipped from my hand, my breath hitched, my heart stopped, then brought back to life. He didn't move, he didn't blink, just stood there in the rain, black cold soaked, hair clinging to his forehead, a trail of blood on his lip. I stepped forward trembling. The rain muffled the world. You still wear the ring, he said. I looked down at my hand. I hadn't realized. I said, I thought you were dead. I almost was, he replied, stepping closer. I stood still and asked, why are you here? I followed the rain, he said. It always led me to you. I stared at him and said, you disappeared. You told me to run, and I did. And then you vanished. I had to. They were coming. I was dying. I couldn't let them find you, he whispered. But I waited, I said softly. Even when I ran, I waited. He moved closer, suddenly grabbing my waist and pulling me against him with an intensity that stole my breath. His touch wasn't cold, it burned. I searched for you every day. I survived for you, he whispered, his voice low, almost trembling. He looked into my eyes, the light slid down his face like tears. He didn't know how to shed, and then he pinned me gently to the shop's wooden door, his body shielding mine from the storm outside. My hands pressed against his chest, but I didn't push him away. You still haunt me, I murmured, trying to steady my breathing. And you still look at me like you see something good, he replied. He leaned down, brushing his lips near mine, but stopping. Can I come inside? He followed me upstairs. I peeled off his coat and saw the graze across his lips. I cleaned the wound in silence, my hands shaking. Do you hate me? He asked, eyes watching every movement of my hands. I looked up, asked, do you want me to? Him, no, but I deserve it. Me, you don't get to decide what I feel. Him, I know. Me, you should have told me the truth. Him, I thought I was protecting you. Me, you broke me. His jaw tightened and I broke myself too. I sat beside him, tension bustling between us like a static. The air between us was heavy, every glance, every breath charged, like we were seconds away from colliding or falling apart again. What now? I asked him. I couldn't stay away anymore. Me. Why? Him. Because nothing matters without you. His hand reached for mine, and I let him take it. He pulled me closer, his breath warm on my skin. Slowly, without words, he brought his forehead to mine. Our breaths tangled. I closed my eyes, leaned into him. Then his arms wrapped tightly around me, not like a lover, like a man who had lost everything and just found his reason to breathe again. He pressed his lips against my forehead, and I felt him tremble. Care, I'll lose you, he murmured. I already lost you once, I replied. I don't want to lose you again. He kissed me then, rough, desperate, but full of restraint. His lips moved against mine like he was trying to remember how I felt. I kissed him back gently at first, then deeper, tasting pain, longing, guilt. His hands moved to my waist, gripping tighter. He pressed me to the wall with careful urgency, his body warming and trembling. Our kisses grew hungrier, messier, but never crossed the line, just enough to feel the hedge in both our hearts. I want to keep you safe, he whispered, breath hot on my neck. Then stay, I whispered back. But before we could say more, clash shattered downstairs. He pulled me away instantly, said, Stay here. I replied, No, I'm coming too. He didn't argue this time. We crept downstairs. A man in a black mask was inside, rummaging through the cash drawer. He tackled him hard, slamming him into the floor. Who sent you? He growled, pinning the intruder down. Min family. They know she's alive. The man coughed. His fist tightened. Tell your boss next time. I won't be so kind. He knocked the man out cold. I stared at him. What now? We can't stay here, he said. Said, I won't run again. He looked at me, then pulled me close. Then we fight together. His lips brushed mine again. Before he whispered, I will never lose you again. But outside, in a car parked in the shadows, a camera flashed. She's with him, confirmed. A voice said through the phone, the hunt ad just began.